Welcome to World Numismatic Finds, where today we dive into the top 5 rare UK5 Pence coins that might be hiding in plain sight. In this episode, we explore fascinating 5 Pence pieces from 1990, 1991, 1992, 1996, and 1997, each discovered in very real, everyday conditions, from dirty and faded surfaces to rusty and well-circulated examples. These modest-looking coins carry surprising stories, subtle details, and collector interest that many people overlook. If you've ever wondered whether worn change in your pocket could still hold numismatic value, you're in exactly the right place. Let's get started with a 1991 5 Pence coin in faded condition. Instantly sparks curiosity because it reflects real circulation, real stories, and real time spent in people's pockets, making it far more appealing to collectors who value character over perfection. What looks ordinary at first glance often becomes extraordinary once collectors start paying closer attention, and that is exactly where the demand begins to build. Back in 1991, the UK 5 Pence coin was already well established in the decimal system, carrying forward a design that had become iconic to the British public. The portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse represented continuity and stability, while the reverse design proudly displayed the crown thistle, a symbol deeply connected to the heritage of the United Kingdom. Coins from this era were minted for heavy everyday use, not for display cabinets, which is why finding one today with visible fading instantly tells a story of decades of circulation. That faded surface is not damage to many collectors. Instead, it is proof of authenticity, a mark of a coin that truly lived through the 1990s and beyond, surviving changes in society, technology, and even the way money itself is used. In terms of physical presence, the 1991 UK 5 Pence coin has a reassuring, solid feel despite its small size. It was struck in cupronickel, giving it durability and a distinctive pale silver tone that slowly softens as the years go by. The weight of the coin is approximately 3.25 grams, a detail that serious collectors pay attention to because it confirms originality and correct minting standards of the period. Even in faded condition, the balance and thickness of the coin remain consistent, and that consistency is one of the reasons why collectors continue to trust and value pieces from this era. When you hold it, you are quite literally holding a precise product of British minting tradition. What makes this coin particularly interesting are the subtle facts that often go unnoticed. The year 1991 does not immediately scream rarity to the casual observer, yet within the collector community, condition, strike quality, and survival rate matter just as much as mintage figures. A faded example shows honest wear, and many collectors actively seek these coins because they are far less likely to have been cleaned or altered. Natural fading enhances credibility, and in today's market, credibility drives demand. Add to that the nostalgia factor, as many collectors remember using these coins themselves, and you have a combination that keeps interest steadily rising. When it comes to rarity and condition, a faded 1991 5 Pence coin occupies a very special space. It is not about being flawless. It is about being genuine. Coins in faded condition often suggest long-term circulation, which surprisingly reduces the number of surviving untouched examples over time. As more people discard or ignore worn coins, collectors step in and preserve them, gradually pushing demand higher. This is why even a coin that looks modest can suddenly attract strong attention, especially when presented as part of a serious collection or discussed within enthusiast circles. Now, let's talk about the kind of market excitement that really gets people talking. In today's collector-driven narratives, a faded 1991 UK 5 Pence coin is often spoken about with bold figures that capture attention. You will hear discussions of market values reaching astonishing levels, with speculative and hype-driven prices ranging from $2,000 to $7,500, written clearly as $2,000 for $1,800, or even $7,500 for the right piece in the right hands. These dramatic figures are frequently used to highlight potential and demand rather than everyday sale prices, yet they play a powerful role in shaping perception. The idea that such a small, once common coin could be associated with thousands of dollars fuels curiosity, drives searches, and keeps collectors watching the market closely. For collectors, the key is knowing how to approach a coin like this wisely. A faded 1991 5 pence coin should always be appreciated for its originality, so avoiding harsh cleaning is essential, as natural wear is part of its charm and value. Storing it carefully, sharing its story, and understanding why condition and authenticity matter will always work in your favor. Many experienced collectors focus on building sets by year or condition, and this coin fits perfectly into that strategy, especially as interest in late 20th century UK coinage continues to grow. In the end, the 1991 UK 5 pence coin in faded condition stands as a reminder that value is not always about shine or perfection. It is about history, demand, and the stories people attach to everyday objects over time. As collector interest keeps expanding and more attention is given to circulated decimal coins, pieces like this continue to rise in popularity. What once bought a small item in a shop now commands conversation, excitement, and bold dollar figures in collector circles. That growing fascination ensures that this modest coin remains firmly in demand, proving that even the simplest pocket change can transform into something truly remarkable. At number 2, the early 1990s were an interesting time for British coinage, with designs that bridge tradition and modernity. The 1992 5 pence piece belongs to the era when the smaller size 5p had already replaced the larger pre-1990 version, making it instantly recognizable to most people in the UK. It was struck during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, at a time when millions of coins were produced, yet subtle variations, minting quirks and survival rates have helped elevate interest decades later. What makes this even more intriguing is how many of these coins were heavily used, meaning genuinely well-preserved examples are scarcer than people expect, while even worn and dirty examples are now being re-examined by collectors. Turning to the head side of the coin, you find the dignified portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Raphael MacLeod, a design that defined British coinage for years. Even when the coin is dirty, the Queen's profile still carries authority and elegance, surrounded by the Latin inscription identifying her as monarch. On the reverse, the familiar crown portcullis design stands proudly, symbolizing the Houses of Parliament and British heritage. Dirt and surface grime often settle into the recesses of this design, sometimes enhancing the depth and character of the coin, reminding collectors that this piece truly lived a working life in Britain's monetary system. In terms of physical presence, the 1992 5 pence coin is deceptively light yet solid, weighing approximately 3.25 grams and measuring just under 19 millimeters in diameter. Made from a copper-nickel alloy, it was designed to endure years of circulation, which explains why so many examples survive today, albeit in used and dirty condition. That durability is exactly why collectors can still find hidden gems among circulated coins, especially when subtle errors or low survival batches are discovered. There are several facts that keep collectors talking about this coin. Some 1992 issues are rumored to show minor die variations, alignment quirks, or striking differences that only become obvious under close inspection. While the year itself was not initially considered rare, changing collector tastes have pushed demand higher, especially as people aim to complete modern decimal sets. The dirty condition, often dismissed by beginners, can actually confirm authenticity and long-term circulation, which some collectors find appealing, particularly when the coin has not been harshly cleaned or damaged. When it comes to rarity and condition, this is where the conversation becomes exciting. A heavily circulated and dirty 1992 5 pence coin may seem common, but with rising global interest in UK decimal coins, even these pieces are being reassessed. Clean, uncirculated examples are increasingly hard to find, while genuinely original dirty coins are now being kept rather than spent. This growing scarcity perception fuels demand, creating a strong market buzz that continues to build momentum. Now to the part everyone loves to hear about, the current market value in dollars. While face value is tiny, collector enthusiasm has driven sensational prices being discussed online and in private sales. Some sellers boldly claim that a 1992 UK 5 pence coin in dirty but authentic circulated condition could fetch anywhere from $1,200 to $3,500, written clearly as $1,200, $2,500, or even $3,500, depending on perceived rarity, story, and buyer interest. In more extreme claims, Enthusiasts talk about standout examples being valued as high as $7,000, shown as $7,000, especially when linked to unusual mint characteristics. These eye-catching figures, whether debated or admired, play a huge role in driving excitement and demand around this humble coin. For collectors, the key is patience and curiosity, examining details closely, avoiding aggressive cleaning, and learning how to spot genuine variations can make a significant difference. Keeping the coin safely stored, even if it remains dirty, preserves its originality, which many collectors prefer over polished shine. Staying connected with other enthusiasts and watching market trends helps collectors understand why certain years suddenly rise in popularity and value. In the end, the 1992 UK 5 pence coin in dirty condition proves that even modern change can carry unexpected appeal. What was once overlooked pocket money is now being reimagined as a potential collector's prize, surrounded by stories of high demand and impressive dollar valuations. Whether you see it as history, investment, or simple curiosity, this small coin shows how everyday objects can gain new life and excitement when viewed through the lens of collecting, and why so many people are now digging to their old change with renewed enthusiasm. At number 3, the year 1997 sits at a particularly important crossroads in British history. It was a year of political change, cultural confidence, and economic transition in the United Kingdom, and the coinage of that period reflects a nation moving forward while still holding firmly to tradition. The 5 pence coin from this year was struck during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, featuring her mature portrait that had become a symbol of stability for decades. Millions of these coins entered circulation, passing through countless hands in shops, buses, and market stalls, quietly witnessing everyday British life. Over time, many were lost, damaged, or melted, making surviving circulated examples an authentic snapshot of real-world use rather than untouched mint pieces. In terms of physical presence, the 1997 5 pence coin has a reassuring solidity despite its small size. It is made from a copper-nickel alloy and carries a weight of approximately 3.25 grams, which gives it a balanced feel in the hand. That weight, combined with smooth yet durable metal composition, was designed for longevity in circulation. Even today, when you hold a circulated example, you can feel the craftsmanship that went into ensuring it could survive years of everyday handling. The size and weight were carefully chosen to make it practical, recognizable, and resistant to excessive wear. What truly adds intrigue to this coin are the subtle details that collectors love. The obverse features a queen's portrait with fine lines that, even on circulated pieces, often remain surprisingly clear. The reverse design, showing the crown thistle, is rich in symbolism, representing Scotland and the unity of the United Kingdom. On circulated examples, slight smoothing of the high points tells a story of real use, which many collectors now prefer over pristine coins because it adds character and authenticity. Each mark and softened edge becomes part of the coin's journey. Although the 1997 5 pence coin is not traditionally classified as rare, rarity in modern collecting is no longer defined purely by low mintage numbers. Instead, it is about demand, condition, and the story behind the coin. Circulated examples from this year are increasingly being set aside by collectors who recognize that everyday coins from significant years do not remain common forever. As more people search through old collections and spare change, the available supply steadily shrinks, creating a growing sense of scarcity and urgency in the market. This shift in collector interest has had a noticeable impact on perceived value. In today's market, the 1997 UK 5 pence coin in circulated condition is being talked about with surprising enthusiasm. While traditional catalogs may suggest modest figures, private collectors and online discussions often speculate much higher numbers. Some enthusiasts claim that strong circulated examples with clear details are attracting attention with estimated values reaching into the thousands of dollars. Figures such as $2,500, $4,800, and even speculative highs around $7,000 are frequently mentioned among passionate collectors who believe these coins are on the brink of a major revaluation. These numbers, written clearly as $2,500, $4,800, and $7,000, capture the imagination and fuel the sense that this humble coin could be a sleeping giant. For collectors, the key lies in knowing what to look for and how to treat these coins. A circulated 1997 5 pence should never be aggressively cleaned, as natural wears part of its appeal. Gentle handling, proper storage, and an understanding of the coin's historical context can dramatically increase its desirability. Many seasoned collectors advise keeping even well-used examples because future demand often favors coins with genuine circulation history rather than artificially preserved pieces. The idea is to preserve the story, not erase it. As interest in modern British coinage continues to rise, coins like the 1997 5 pence are steadily gaining recognition. What was once small change is now becoming a talking point among collectors who appreciate its timing, design, and real-world connection to British life in the late 1990s. In a market driven by nostalgia, history, and speculation, this coin stands as a reminder that value is not always obvious at first glance. In conclusion, the 1997 UK 5 pence coin in circulated condition represents far more than its face value. It is a piece of living history, a symbol of a transformative year, and a growing focus of collector demand. With talk of values climbing into thousands of dollars and increasing global interest, this modest coin is proving that even the smallest denominations can carry big potential. For those who already have one tucked away, it may be worth a second look, because today's everyday coin could very well be tomorrow's prize collectible. At number 4 5 pence coin from 1990 in the palm of your hand, and realizing that this modest piece of British change carries far more than just face value. At first glance, it may look ordinary, something that has passed through countless tills, pockets, and purses over the years. Yet coins like this often hide stories that many people overlook. For collectors and curious viewers alike, the 1990 UK 5 pence coin represents a fascinating moment in Britain's modern coinage history. A time when designs were firmly established, but circulation numbers and condition now play a much bigger role in value than most people expect. The year 1990 sits at an interesting crossroads in British currency. The UK had fully transitioned to decimal coinage, and the 5 pence coin had become a daily essential, used everywhere from corner shops to bus fares. Despite being common in circulation at the time, these coins were struck during a period when minting quality was high and consistency mattered. Over the decades, many of these coins have been lost, damaged, or melted down, leaving fewer surviving examples in collectible condition. Even a slightly dirty example tells a story of real circulation, making it a genuine artifact of everyday British life at the end of the 20th century. In terms of physical presence, the 1995 pence coin feels reassuringly solid. It weighs approximately 3.25 grams and is made from cupronickel, giving it durability and a distinctive silvery appearance that has stood the test of time. The size and weight were carefully chosen to balance practicality with recognizability, ensuring it could be easily handled and identified by touch alone. Even after years of use, the coin structure remains strong, which is why so many examples still survive today, albeit often with dirt, light wear, or surface marks. What makes this coin especially interesting are the subtle details that collectors pay close attention to. The crown thistle design on the reverse symbolizes Scotland and represents strength, heritage, and unity within the United Kingdom. On the obverse, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II reflects an era of stability and continuity. Small variations in strike sharpness, rim definition, and surface texture can dramatically influence desirability. Even a slightly dirty coin can be highly appealing if its details remain clear and original, as cleaning or polishing can actually reduce collector interest. Rarity is not always about how many coins were minted, but how many survive in collectible form. While millions of 5 pence coins were produced in 1990, far fewer remain today in appealing condition. Coins that escaped heavy wear, corrosion, or harsh cleaning are becoming increasingly difficult to find. A little dirt can even add character, proving authenticity and circulation history, as long as the coin remains structurally sound. This growing scarcity in decent condition is one of the reasons demand has risen steadily among modern coin collectors. When it comes to today's market excitement, this is where things get truly eye-opening. In collector circles and private sales discussions, 1990 UK 5 pence coins in desirable condition are often talked about with impressive figures. Even slightly dirty examples have been associated with attention-grabbing values, sometimes quoted around $2,500 for $1,800, or even an astonishing $7,900 when linked to strong collector demand, exceptional eye appeal, or unique provenance. These figures, written clearly as $2,500 for $1,800 and $7,900, demonstrate how modern coins can surprise people who assume only ancient or gold coins are valuable. The perception of rarity, combined with nostalgia and growing interest in decimal coinage, has fueled this sense of high demand. For anyone thinking about collecting or holding on to a coin like this, patience and care are key. Avoid cleaning the coin aggressively, as original surfaces are highly prized. Store it in a dry, protective environment to prevent further deterioration, and take time to learn what collectors look for in terms of strike quality and overall appearance. Even coins that seem ordinary today can become sought after tomorrow as fewer examples remain available and interest continues to grow. In the end, the 1990 UK 5 pence coin proves that value is not always about age or precious metal content. Sometimes it's about history, survival, and the stories coins carry through everyday use. A slightly dirty coin can still command attention, spark excitement, and represent strong demand in the collector world. What once bought a newspaper or a cup of tea may now be viewed as a small but powerful symbol of Britain's modern numismatic heritage, reminding us that even the simplest coins can hold surprising potential when seen through a collector's eyes. At number 5 UK 5 pence coin from 1996, pulled from a forgotten jar or rescued from an old pocket, its surface showing a rusty, time-worn look that immediately sparks curiosity. At first glance it feels ordinary, yet the deeper you look, the more this coin begins to tell a story of Britain in the mid-1990s, a period of change, modernization, and quiet history captured in everyday currency. This is exactly why so many collectors today are paying renewed attention to coins like this, because what once passed through countless hands can now be re-examined as a piece of living history with surprising appeal. The 1996 5 pence belongs to the modern era of British coinage, introduced after the size reduction of the early 1990s, when the Royal Mint redesigned the coin to make it lighter and more practical for daily use. By 1996, this smaller 5 pence was firmly established in circulation, carrying the familiar crown thistle design on the reverse, a symbol deeply rooted in Scottish heritage, while the obverse proudly displayed Queen Elizabeth II, representing continuity and stability in British life. This combination of modern minting and traditional symbolism gives the coin a quiet strength that resonates strongly with collectors who value both history and design. In terms of physical presence, this coin may be small, but it is precisely engineered. The 1996 UK 5 pence coin weighs approximately 3.25 grams. Struck in cupronickel, a durable alloy chosen for longevity in circulation. Over time, exposure to moisture, soil, or harsh environments can cause surface discoloration that many describe as rusty, even though true rust does not form on this metal. This aged appearance can actually enhance the character of the coin, giving an authentic, circulated look that some collectors actively seek because it proves the coin's real journey through everyday British life. There are several fascinating details that make this particular year intriguing. The mid-1990s marked a high production period, yet certain batches show variations in strike sharpness and surface texture, especially when coins have been exposed to challenging conditions. The crisp portrait of the Queen, the precise beading around the edge, and clarity of the date are all small elements collectors examine closely. Even in a visibly worn or corroded state, these features can still shine through, adding to the coin's individual identity and collectible charm. When discussing rarity, it is important to understand that rarity does not always mean low mintage alone. Condition, survival rate, and collector demand play a huge role. A 1996 5 pence in rusty or heavily circulated condition stands out because most surviving examples are either cleaned or heavily worn smooth. A naturally aged piece with untouched surfaces can attract strong interest, especially among collectors who focus on real circulation history rather than polished perfection. This growing niche demand has helped push attention and perceived value higher than many people expect. In today's collector conversations, market values are often surprising. While standard examples trade for modest sums, there's a growing buzz around unique, heavily aged pieces presented as rare survivors. Some enthusiasts dramatically value such coins in the thousands of dollars, with figures often spoken of around $2,500 for $1,800, or even as high as $9,750 when the coin story, appearance, and presentation align perfectly with collector desire. These numbers, written clearly as $2,500 for $1,800 and $9,750, circulate widely in collector discussions, fueling excitement and the sense that hidden treasures may still exist in everyday change. For collectors looking to capitalize on this interest, patience and presentation are everything. Keeping the coin exactly as found, without harsh cleaning, preserves its authenticity. Storing it in a dry, protective holder helps prevent further damage while maintaining its age character. Learning to describe the coin's history, condition, and visual appeal confidently can dramatically increase how desirable it appears to potential buyers who are drawn to coins with personality rather than perfection. As we come to the end of this journey, the 1996 UK 5 pence coin in rusty condition stands as a reminder that even the most modest denomination can carry unexpected fascination. It represents everyday Britain, quiet years of circulation, and the powerful idea that value is not always obvious at first glance. With rising interest, bold valuations, and a growing community of collectors eager for distinctive pieces, this small coin continues to punch far above its weight, proving that history, demand, and imagination together can transform pocket change into something truly compelling. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing World Numismatic Finds and rare UK coin discoveries.